go have plenty to celebrate. So let's see what we have to look forward to today. Our first match of the afternoon session is the bronze medal match in the mixed teams, and it features the clash of the superpowers. Not so much in archery, but certainly on the world stage. The USA against Russia. Always a little bit of extra edge and spice whenever it's America versus Russia, no matter what the sport. And here is Mackenzie Brown and Zach Garrett, the Olympic team bronze medalist from Rio, getting his introduction there, who will be flying the stars and stripes for the United States. Mackenzie, we saw earlier in the team event, not able to medal on that occasion because she lost out. Her team lost out in their bronze medal match, and here come the Russians, the number 7 seed, Natalia Erdynieva, who picked up a gold in the team event, so she knows the conditions very well. She's already shot here, and her compatriot and teammate Alexander Kozhin, they rank number 7. They lost to Chinese Taipei, having beaten India and France, whilst the Americans lost to the Koreans after beating Great Britain on a 1-arrow shoot-off. Now, we talk about the conditions, and it is a little bit breezy. That's something that they'll have to deal with. Is there a big advantage for the women here in that Mackenzie Brown and Natalia Erdynieva have both shot here already? For the fellas, they're going into new territory.
It definitely helps. You've already been out there. You already know whether the wind is prone to be coming from the left or from the right. Admittedly, it's a few hours ago, so sometimes conditions change. But I think as a team, it's great if one of you has already been out there. Even if you can just give your teammate a few words of wisdom, anything can help. So, yeah.
Zach Garrett has not shot here until now, and it certainly doesn't seem to have bothered him one little bit. That is
because he got advice. He got advice off his teammates. That's
well, let's see if Mackenzie Brown can follow that.
Because she shot okay when she was last out there. Not her best, but she's been doing okay today.
Just managed to drop a 9 in. First to 5. There's 2 points per set, of course. Alexander Kozhin will not be very happy about that. Well, in contrast to Garrett, Kozhin stepping in and only just recording a 7. Now, Erdynieva did not set the place on fire, but was steady in winning the gold medal for the team. But that was a shocking start by her.
You're right, she was. She had a couple of good 10s, but she didn't look steady. She looked unsettled, even though the performance wasn't bad. So
I don't remember her scoring a 5 either.
No, that's true.
I mean, fancy
that's
saving that up. So it puts the Americans comfortably on course to take the first 2 points of this race to 5.
It's going to give them confidence for sure.
Mackenzie Brown, it'll be a case of steady and sure, and that'll do it.
USA got a different coach out this time. They've got their head coach of their entire program, Mr. Lee, formerly of Korea. Probably the most successful coach in modern times.
Well, these 2 arrows can be range finders for the Russians. Both of them need to find their range. That was a little bit better from Erdynieva. Couldn't have been much worse, could it? It really was.
To find the gold, and he has. Well done. That's great.
So yeah, not wasted at all, but it's the Americans that have jumped out to the early lead. Still a little bit stunned at that Erdynieva 5. I mean, as you say, the Russians all kind of plodded through that final. It wasn't vintage stuff.
No, it wasn't.
Nobody hit the heights in that final at all, but Erdynieva was not dropping a 5 in there as well. That was a real surprise to see that there with her first arrow.
She normally looks steady and smooth as she's pulling back, but she just looked a bit shaky and a bit twitchy this morning. And that is obviously what's causing these wide arrows, I would have thought. But it sets all to play for. They're only 2 set points down. It doesn't matter whether you lose by 7 points or whether you lose by 1. So it's all still to play for.
This is beautiful venue, the Lujiazyu Central Green, shooting over the water with the fountains in the background. 8 from Kozhin. Now, what is Natalia going to give us? We don't know.
Look better.
Yeah, that's a lot more like it. That's at least setting a benchmark now for Garrett and Brown.
Nice.
Well, yeah, you heard the coach there say nice.
Nice indeed.
Yeah, it was better than nice. But I guess he's a taskmaster, isn't he? He's not going to give him too much credit, but that is...
He's going to play it down. You don't want to get excited.
Now, if Brown can get a 9 or better, that will put the Americans in great shape.
There we go. Nice, 10.
She's got that 10 line.
Yeah,
Good job,
better.
As I said earlier, you've only got to just touch the line and you get the highest score.
Yep.
We've got to be certain it's out rather than certain it's in. And if they're not sure and they need a judge, they'll put a little star on the scoreboard next to the arrow value.
Well, it's got to be 10s here, and dear oh dear, that's barely a 7.
If they're not careful, this is going to slip away before it's even really started.
I mean, this is a real anticlimax for Erdynieva in particular. Yeah, part of that gold team has just not shown up here. And that's the thing. The format, the 10 is almost irrelevant at this point. But you can't, it's a sprint. You can't afford to shake off a couple of sloppy ones and think you're going to win it.
There's no time. But you got to remember, this is the pinpoint of the cumulative result of a long week. They've been out in Shanghai a week competing, so she's obviously had great days of shooting to get here, but she's obviously not got nothing left in the tank for today.
So 7 will put the Americans 4 up.
Good eye focus.
You can see she's getting blown around.
There we go. That's good.
But that'll do it.
That's good.
A little bit closer than the first leg.
They just look like they got it under control.
And really, it's the letdown that we're seeing as Mackenzie Brown. Just take another look at her. It's the letdown that we're seeing from Erdynieva, and it's a good point you made that it's the culmination of a long week, and sometimes it's concentration. It's not all physical. There is so much mental there as well. She's probably just having that letdown. She's won the gold. She's peaked in a sense.
She might have had some really tough matches to get there, but she's been. This is day number 5, I think.
It is indeed. Well, they can't afford any more loose shots, that is for sure.
Here's why I like set points, because they can still pull it back.
But there is no margin for error now.
0.
70 meters between archer and target. The 10 ring, the size of a compact disc or a DVD.
Better.
Speaking of DVDs, I don't think Natalia will be watching a DVD of this particular final unless things change dramatically and quickly. And it's got to change now. This is a big arrow for her. And that is a lot more.
Righto, maybe they're still in this.
Yeah, well, that's more to her liking, and certainly what she's capable of. Well, she's focused now. Zach Garrett.
Nice.
Well, yeah, he's come out on fire.
Nice indeed.
Okay, Mackenzie, good transfer.
It's Zach's only shot at a medal
Keep going.
from Shanghai. Indeed, it is for Mackenzie as well.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep
think that wind is picking up.
Nice.
This could result in an interesting afternoon.
Well, the Russian improvement has been matched and bettered at the midway point. Now remember, they just need 1 point. So they can get a share of this. So these next 2 arrows have got to be good from the Russians.
Okay. It's not a disaster, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to challenge.
Well, Alexander would desperately love a 10 here. You feel they're going to need it.
Okay.
Well,
At least he set a challenge for the Americans.
But the reality is the Americans can claim this bronze with 2 9s. And Zach just checking there.
Yeah, his clicker went off a bit early, so there's still got enough time, but it's going to be tight.
Finish. Push through.
He's not rushing this.
No, he's
and
not.
The shot clock's going, yeah, and he got out. And look at what's happened.
That.
Now that changed everything completely. Well, I wonder what happened with Zach there. As you say, he just double clutched.
That was a great shot in short time. That was excellent.
But all of a sudden, we have a game. And the Russian score has gone from 30 to 34 to 38. That is a massive improvement in a very short space of time. And just when it looked like the Americans were on the brink of wrapping this up, the team with momentum is the Russians.
It's always the thing with the timing clock, because if everything's going fine, there is more than enough time. There's no issue at all. We don't even mention it. It's there ticking over in the corner. But as soon as you slip up, all of a sudden it's, oh, I've got 21 seconds left, and that's when it matters.
And I'd love to know what happened with Zach there, Mike. I mean, you know, you've seen these situations 1,000 times, but you knew something was wrong, obviously. But then he took a long time setting himself up, but still sent in a poor shot.
Yeah, he needed to come down, start again, and get in there with a quick shot, which is how Mackenzie finished up. She shot wonderfully fast. Because there is enough time to come down, reset, and start again. You just can't, what shall I say, faff around.
That's getting technical. Faff around.
Do not waste time. You need to complete your task efficiently, as Mackenzie did to finish.
Yes, you really did.
She done that in like 8 seconds, which is wonderful. Good work.
All in vain. Now, they're still okay if they can share this, but the Russians will be thinking, right, we can pull ourselves back from the brink here.
Oh, they're going to be feeling great. They're going to be absolutely on the up.
And as I say, 30, 34, 38. And look how Alexander Kozhin has started this 4th set. It is astonishing how quickly things can be completely transformed, and we know that Natalia is good enough. There's the confirmation. Well, she might have been mentally just on walkabout the first couple of sets. She's dialed in now.
I thought we were going to have our first one-sided match of the day, and instead we might well have a shoot-off.
Well, this is an important one for Zach Garrett.
Nice.
He's delivered. He's had 3 of those 4 right in the X. He's top form.
It's just that one stumble.
Yes, and that'll probably be, he probably won't remember the 3 X's. He'll remember the stumble.
It's turned this match on its head.
Nice.
Wow, fantastic response that from Mackenzie Brown. Now, remember, the Americans just need a share. The Russians have to win this set. So having shot back-to-back 10s, they need more, and
solid.
It's
okay. Okay might not mean a medal.
I would suggest that Kozhin must have a 10. He's been rock solid.
Bit slow.
Yeah, he's down to 6
Really
seconds.
should have
but
shot by now. But it was worth waiting for.
It was worth waiting for. Well, He did that absolutely right.
Keep going.
So they need to match that to take bronze. Otherwise, this becomes a white knuckle ride.
Nice, good job. 9.8, good job.
Well,
Good job.
there's a 9, but it's up to Mackenzie Brown now. This bronze medal is within her grasp if she can secure a 10. Big, big pressure on the shoulders of Brown here. And that is an absolute disaster in the context.
No, she's not happy with that, and I can't
No.
blame her.
Shoot up. We want to shoot you first, them shoot.
Well, how interesting that both the Americans stumbled badly as well. Garrett, effectively, that one shot of his lost the 3rd set, and Brown, under pressure there, has lost the 4th set.
Yeah, Zach's stumble was the turning
That's
point.
the turning
and
point of
then
the whole match.
Russia just grabbed it. And going into this shoot-off, I sort of feel like Russia are going to feel like they've got the momentum. It looked like they were...
Look at their scores.
Looked like they were on the way home.
34, 38, 39.
Wow.
They're getting better. They're getting tighter and tighter. It's getting... I mean, you wouldn't fancy the Americans' chances much at the moment, the way they've slipped. They've been consistent, 37, 38, 36, 37.
It's interesting they were debating which order they were going to... I thought they would have had that nailed down weeks ago.
Well, who's going to take this mixed team bronze?
Саня, на автомате выстрел, понял?
I don't know who I favour here. I don't know who's got... I think Russia, just because...
Momentum.
Momentum indeed. Even if on paper, maybe USA. So here they're just resetting. There's an automatic scoring system, and they're just resetting what the dead centre of the target is. So then they can be millimetre accurate. Well, fractions of a millimetre to be precise.
You just wonder psychologically how the Americans are feeling, because both of them have had a blip,
Они начинают, Саша.
and that's all it's been. It's been one shot.
So just to clarify, each athlete is going to shoot 1 arrow each. We're going to have one from, looks like USA first, then Russia, then USA, then Russia again. We're going to alternate 1 arrow at a time. It's on score, but if they tie on score, the team that's got the arrow closest to the dead center of the target wins. So sometimes getting a 10 isn't good enough. You need to get as close to the middle as you can. Dead center.
High pressure stuff, high stakes.
Nice.
Like that.
Давай, Саня, на автомате, свой обычный тренировочный выстрел.
Well, he took his time there, but he still left his partner plenty of time as well.
Легко.
He took more than his fair share by a second.
But yeah.
So she's
greedy.
She can't do the same, that's all I'm going to say.
And Kozhin hasn't rushed before, but oh, now that's going to be a very, very close to a perfect replica of Garrett's shot.
Ты умеешь уверенно работать.
Didn't spot whose was closest.
No, it's very, very close. Oh my goodness me, that might be academic, you know.
Давай, время.
She knows it. Oof.
Score comes before
Yeah,
closest to centre.
you feel for her.
Ай,
And the way
уверенный
Natalia
техничный выстрел.
Erdynieva has just got better and better once she's warmed up. This isn't looking good for the Americans. But how about that? A stunner.
Wow.
An absolute stunner. Oh my goodness me.
That's the game.
It was there for the taking.
That was an extraordinary shot. You would have put
Sorry.
a lot on
That was good.
Natalia Erdynieva safely securing that without even the need for looking at who was closest to dead centre. All she had to do was hit a 9. And she'd been shooting so well, and for her to go the other way and drift out, well, it was another twist and a turn. You think you get this game and this sport worked out, something else comes along and bites you before you know it. They started fast, they dipped in the middle, and then they finished strongly. The Americans, and that's been good enough to take bronze over the Russians, who started so slowly, built up a huge head of steam, and then just flamed out spectacularly on the last shot.
Do we put it down as the beginning of the season?
They want to.
First major of the year, so I'm sure by the end of the year everyone will be in their groove, because that was, yeah, disjointed.
Yeah, but for a neutral spectator, you're loving it because you love twists and turns and plot lines. But Mackenzie Brown and Zach Garrett, they'll be loving it too. They're going to be going away with a bronze medal from Shanghai. But Alexander Kozhin and his partner in particular, Natalia Erdynieva, who knows what it is to win a gold medal because she did it on the team event earlier today.